popular.
And we love these, Kevin, especially because we have a voice memo to go along with it. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms. You can find us also on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Okay, without further ado, let's get right into these mailbag questions. We have 3 to get through, so let's not waste any more time. This first one from Vince Mapstone. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Hey guys, Vince from Australia here. Just want to thank you for doing a phenomenal job. It's quite difficult to get good coverage down here, so I really appreciate the daily content. You're absolutely smashing it. I won't harp too much on the current season, as I think we're all reasonably happy so far. Well, certainly hope so anyway. But a couple of questions about the near future. First off, outside of Aranda, Mead, or Manzardo, is there anyone else we should keep an eye out for as a potential call-up to the main roster, either later this season or next? And also, with the draft around the corner, are there any key prospects that would fit the Rays system to keep an eye out for in the early rounds, or even just a specific position group you think we'll focus on? Cheers, guys. Keep up the good work. Rays up.
All right. Well, thank you to Vince. And that's another Australia listener that we have on the board. I'm sure that he's listened to both of our interviews with Curtis Mead. So we appreciate that for sure. And great questions from Vince as well.
Yeah. Thank you for reaching out, Vince. It's very cool to get old-time listeners that are still going for the first time onto the show. That's very cool. So thank you for reaching out, man. Anytime you can do that, that would be great. Okay, so tackling the first one, the first question. Yeah, the big names we know, right? I'm going off the reservation here because I could say something like, oh, Kobe White or something like that. But
okay,
I'm going with a WBC lean here. Okay, if you watched the World Baseball Classic, you might have watched this pitcher just celebrating the heck out of a strikeout and just going insane for Team Italy, just going all sorts of crazy, and it was awesome to watch. His name is Joe La Sorsa, and guess what? He plays for the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Okay, so he's right now in AAA in Durham. 8 2/3. He hasn't been doing that hot. Okay, they're hitting 324 off him in only 8 innings, but he has had a solid career in the minors, a 2.78 ERA in over 190 innings pitched. So if I were to keep track of, hey, who can come up and maybe be an arm, that a Criswell type of start, a Barty or somebody that can can you give us 3 innings because we need something right now? I think Joe La Sorsa could be that guy.
Okay. I honestly do not know much about Joe La Sorsa and his profile outside of, like you mentioned, his hysterics and his.
They're pretty good, weren't they?
The World Baseball Classic. Didn't he celebrate after completing the 6th inning, and you would have thought by his body language and his action that it was Game 7 of the World Series?
Yeah, it was exactly. Those are the things about the WBC, man. Like, you get so hyped up. So I love that from him. And the guy, I'm pretty sure he was born in America. It says born in Mount Kisco, New York. But obviously has some ancestry with Italy, was able to represent the Italian team, and he felt like that. That's one of the coolest things. So me, I'm a sucker for the WBC. So if I need to see a list of pitchers that who could possibly help the Rays. I'm going to give him the slight edge just because I am a WBC fan.
That's fair. Yeah, that watching his celebratory highlights and Randy Rosarena's amazing feat during the World Baseball Classic, that's basically all of the WBC that I focus on. Just those couple of clips on Twitter, basically. So we're opposite in that respect. I'll also go a little bit off the reservation here and mention a guy that is not on the 40-man roster and is probably a couple years away from making his major league debut, but is a fast riser in this system. And there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about this individual, Junior Caminero, based on what he's doing right now in high A Bowling Green, hitting almost 400. He's not even 20 years old yet, and he's already displaying massive, not just raw power, but power that he is showcasing in ball games. And that combined with the hit tool, of course, being a young player, he's got a lot in the way of pitch recognition and swing decisions. But this guy, he's already, I think, cracked the top 100 list of several outlets or getting very close to that marker there. So that's a guy to watch as far as that goes. And
he's done it also, I mean, in the Australian League too. So Vince might have caught a little bit of Junior Caminero's action while he was there. So no, he's impressive, man. He's like, what, 20, you said 21 years old?
He hasn't even turned 20 yet. I think he turns 20 in June or July. He's 19.
That's crazy. He's crazy young. He's crazy talented. Now, do you actually believe, though, if you had green Skittles, if you had the power, do you actually think that he would crack the Rays roster at any point this season?
Oh, absolutely not. And that's why I was not going off Vince's question per se. So yeah, so you more accurately answered it. I just wanted to name a prospect that is creating some buzz.
No, I mean, you also got me excited. You're like, you actually want, you can see that.
Yeah, there's no chance in hell that Caminero's, making the big roster this year, probably next year for that matter. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Ulises Basabe. So
yes, you read my mind. Exactly. If we had to pick a guy that maybe not a lot of Rays fans are putting their eye on, but actually has a shot, would be exactly that. Ulises Basabe, my Venezuelan bump here. Look, if you do not know about Ulises Basabe, just get to know, first of all, how to spell his first and last name, and then get to know his numbers. Okay, he has a 350 average, 395 on base. That's an 895 OPS. Has one home run, 80 at bats. This kid can do anything in the infield. Yes, he might not be a Gold Glover, but he can do what you need him to be to do defensively. He's no Taylor Walls, but he's no Harold Ramirez either. So with the type of bat, man, he is somebody that you really want. He's athletic. Again, I'm really excited about this guy. I want an everydayer, just like I want everydayers listening to Locked On Rays and watching us on YouTube and subscribing. I also want an everydayer Venezuelan player on the Rays so that I can just give him my Venezuelan bump every time that I can get. And Ulises Basabe is that. If he has a shot this year, I would be very, very excited.
Little Rays fans, if Basabe cracks the roster and Yanni Chirinos does amazing things, it could be the Locked On Chirinos and Basabe show for a couple months, for all we know. Now, getting to Vince's second point, the MLB draft, I honestly have not paid a lot of attention to prospect and who or what the Rays would target. I would just say generally. Now, I did look up some of the names, and I'll just give a shout out to Mitchell High School's Aiden Miller and Strawberry Crest High School's Arjun Damala. Those are two Tampa Bay area kids that could be drafted in the top 10, top 15, top 20. They probably won't last or fall to the Rays. But I would think, generally speaking, the Rays clearly always looking for arms, hard-throwing arms, high school arms, mixes some college guys too. But I would think that based on these rules changes and what's come down the pipeline, that you also at some point want to target a catcher, multiple catchers that have a strong, accurate arm and can block pitchers, defensive-minded catcher, basically.
Yeah, that's a strategy. I would go another route. I would think first, if at all possible, just just get the best product available. If that's a pitcher, that's a pitcher. If that's a catcher, that's a catcher. But if it's also a first baseman that can smash, get it. Who is the best player available? That would be always my strategy. Second, I think the Rays, I'm just so trusting in what the Rays pitching lab can do. Again, you can take a guy who sells solar panels and he can have a 2.30 ERA in over 40 appearances. I really don't. You don't have to get the shiny prospect that's gonna earn $5 million in a signing bonus for you. I want hits. I want pop. So if that's where you have to go, like the Xavier Isaac pick, yeah, it was a little bit of a scratcher because you're like, wow, really? A first baseman, high school, you don't really have a lot of numbers. The guy was hurt. Apparently he's mashing. I would go that route. I would kind of do high risk, high reward on the bats because you already can turn anybody into a really good pitcher. But can you get some pop? Can you get some really good hits? I would go that route.
No, I think that's fair too. I mean, the Rays over the last several years, they've focused on up the middle athletic types, and I think there's a bevy of those in the Rays system presently, and that's always going to continue to be there. I think there's a lot of guys we haven't even mentioned, the Mason Hours and so forth too. So I would think that, okay, even if the guy doesn't really have a position, he's first base only, third base only, DH, fringe corner outfielder, but he can hit dingers. I think it's finding that balance of what you're looking for. I think with this generation of game that we're now playing, I think just like everything, you want to have a dynamic roster of, you got some slap hitters with speed and you have some guys that can drive them in,
exactly,
just, generally speaking. So, all right, great question there from Vince. We have more to discuss, but first, Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something very important.
Yes, we have to tell you that Game Time is the place for last minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Although if you want to do that, sure, but you can also use Game Time when you have no time to do so. Okay, it has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, you name it, they have it. The Game Time guarantee means also you always have the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you with 110% of the difference. Yeah, try getting that deal anywhere else, people. You won't find it. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. You can get images of your seat right before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. You buy the tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're set. They're sent directly to your phone. No need to dig through your email. So today you can snag those tickets without the stress using Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms will apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Say it for the people in the back. LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We also want to tell you about our new sponsor, Sorare. It's a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace, transforming fans into owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 MLB teams, including the Rays. They did not leave the Rays out this time. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, Sorare managers truly own their fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, and competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. Plus, the more you win, the more you advance, collecting increasingly powerful cards and accessing next level competitions and rewards. So head to sorare.com/lockedon. That's SORARE.com to draft your team of free player cards, set your lineup, and start competing today to win epic rewards. Again, that's sorare.com/lockedon to start playing today. All right. This next question from Sergio, a Rays fan from Chicago. We like that. He says, hey guys, wow, what a game and a W. I guess he was talking about any game but Sunday's game this past week. It was worth going to the game and freezing near the right field foul pole line. Randy Rosarina He got so much love tonight from White Sox fans. I saw a lot of Team Mexico WBC jerseys, so I'm sure it has to do with that. Getting that much love and praise from being a visiting player is impressive. Also, White Sox fans are fun. Had a friendly banter with them in my section. When Randy made the catch and did his trademark pose, I admit that made the pose as well. That made me do the pose as well, I guess is what he's trying to say. Getting a sea of boos from those fans made my night just awesome. Question, Pete Fairbanks, the injury popped up again and in cold weather. Is it time for the Rays to consider a backup closer for cold weather games? Thinking this could be a problem in October. Who would be a good option in the pen now, and or should the Rays make a trade to get someone with closer experience come the deadline?
Well, Sergio, I hope you did have a fantastic time in Chicago. Hopefully you did not attend Sunday's game. And if you did, that's okay. You saw them do a lot of good things as well. Yeah, just going back to, it was really cool seeing how Randy was interacting with the Chicago fans. Like, they even threw him Lucha Libre masks on, and he picked them up. And then he shared them with Harold, and then they had like a fantastic time.
He definitely could not do that in Philadelphia or New York or Boston. That is for sure.
No, I don't think they're going to praise him
even
in other places.
Here's the thing about Chicago, I guess, or the Midwest in general. Even though you have a city as large as that, you still have some down-home, friendly people like Dave Wills, for example. I think there's a lot of that vibe that permeates throughout that community.
Yeah, it was very cool to see. It was very, very cool to see. And also, I guess they're also at a time where they kind of feel let down by their own team. So it's easier to not get so caught up in the rivalry of things. I think that's fair to say. But no, that was really cool. But going back to Sergio's question, the Fairbanks, is it Reynolds? Is that how you pronounce it?
I have no idea, and I don't ever want to get anything like it. It's really odd.
I've read about this thing, man, and it does not look at all pleasant. So, geez, and like Pete, like that sucks, man. Like it must not be easy to just live your life with I think it's pronounced Raynaud's syndrome. I think Raynaud's.
Yeah.
If it's not, hey, I guess kill me in the comments. But if you have it, you must know it's just. As soon as your body detects, that it's cold, it just shuts off blood circulation in your hands and your fingertips. So that's what you need to throw a baseball and to grip it well and to have your pitches work effectively. And if you can't do that, everybody's thinking the same thing as Rays Nation. Like, we're sorry that this sucks. Who's going to throw the most important ninth high leverage innings in October? Because this team is hopefully going to October. So they're not all going to be played at the Trop. So who's going to be doing that? And I don't know, man. I think Jason Adam would be the easy answer here to just go, hey, Jason Adam can do those. But, well, does that mean that you only have Pete available for game 1 and game 2, and then you don't have him for 3, 4, 5, and then he's back for 6 and 7?
Right.
I don't know, man. I'm sure that they're all thinking and putting their heads together on how to go about handling this situation. It might not just be a simple thing as like, oh, we'll just get another pitcher that can do the same things as Pete Fairbanks, because that would be almost impossible because Pete Fairbanks is really good at what he does. So you can't just like do a swap. But it is concerning. It is concerning, and let's just hope that they're talking about some alternatives. But I'm always going to be of the opinion of get more arms. That's never going to be an issue for me. I'm going to be like, no, I think we're set on arms. No, get all the arms that you can. I do not care. Get them all, and I trust the Rays to get the right arms for their bullpen. The issue is this going to be soft, or is this something that it's going to be manageable? I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and you just wonder for Pete Fairbanks, is he a guy that what's the threshold? Is it, if it's under 60 degrees, boys can't go out there, too cold for me? And I'm sure the Rays have already thought about this, but can't they put like 10 hand warmers in his pockets?
I know.
Or do those thought about that, like whatever it's called, the I guess they're pocket warmers that quarterbacks wear.
Yeah. Or you know what?
Maybe I'm dumbing this down too much. I don't know.
Hey, we're not doctors, but I did read though that apparently even if you put gloves, it's the body just apparently just knows that this is happening, that you're in a very cold environment and you can't do it. Apparently some people can acclimate better by doing some type of like cold therapy. Again, not a doctor, but I'm sure they're looking at all the alternatives because this is big, man. This is an issue. And I know he talked to Topkin. I don't know if you read the quote after the game that he said, I'm going to do my best to always be out there and Kevin Cash is going to have to pry the baseball off me. Well, it's happened twice, man. It's happened twice. And once in the playoffs. He ripped it off you.
What's worse for you? Willy Adames being unable to hit at home or Pete Fairbanks being unable to pitch in cold weather?
Ooh, that's, you know what? I want you Rays fans, Locked On Rays, to put it down in the comments. What would you rather have?
Yeah.
What's worst? Because you're making me think here. 50% of the time, Willy Adames was fantastic. Pete Fairbanks, cold weather is really just April away games and October. So that's 2 out of 7 months.
But the most important games are in October.
/September. I think New York can get nippy in September and Toronto.
Oh, it can get nippy, yeah, for sure.
Boston. So
how much of it now is a mental thing? I'm not disrespecting or disregarding his issue, but if he's thinking, is it going to pop? It's a little chilly out. I feel fine, but when's it going to pop up? Is it going to pop up? Like having that constant fear and anxiety.
He's a human being. Yeah.
When's it going to happen?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I would rather have, I don't know, man. That's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah. It's really odd to me. Again, I'm not a doctor. The Rays have the best. They have access to the best medical people on the planet, I'm sure. But Pete Fairbanks, being originally from Missouri and playing collegiately at the University of Missouri, he had to pitch and experience his fair share of cold weather. So maybe, again, this is just something that was on set recently. But
this just pops up in your life. It can just, you can just have, like, I don't know if allergies are like this. Maybe when you're older, you can just have, I'm allergic to shellfish now. I wasn't for the first 30 years. Like, I know, for example, my mother never had asthma. And then she turned an age. I will not say her age because she would kill me. But at a point in her life, she got asthma and now she has asthma. So I think those things can happen. And so I think it just, unfortunately, it happened to Pete at, his late 20s, man. And that sucks. So hopefully they're thinking about ways of alleviating it. And Pete is a very smart guy. I'm sure that he's also doing his own research and he's, bothering all the medical team there to say, hey, how can we get over this?
I really hope it comes down to, we solved Pete Fairbanks' issue by just have him layer up. He's wearing 4 beanies during a ball game, and he's got like 15 hand warmers in each pocket. He's got hand warmers in his socks. He's got hand warmers in his jock strap. We're just trying to get him as warm as possible. So this does affect him, and it works. Look at that.
Heat warmers. Anything in the bullpen. Hey, you know what? If you have Raynaud syndrome and you don't mind, like, tell us in the comments, like, what do you do to maybe alleviate this? Is there something to do? Is there's nothing that you can do to alleviate this? Because if there's nothing to do, that would obviously be an issue. But you know what? There's always something you can do for yourself. And I will tell you this because this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And what you can do, it's very easy to get caught up in what everybody else needs from you. And you never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. But when we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us a little bit feeling stretched thin and burnt out. And this is where therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can support others without leaving yourself behind. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB.
All right, this final mailbag we'll get to from Alex Mullins, who checks in on Twitter. Mailbag question: what do you guys think of RandyLand, and what is your overall take of it? More specifically, the shirts. Right now, they are only offering adult lattes for the shirts. Bummer for me because I really wanted tickets, but I just won't fit into a large. I really think they should do medium and XL like they do for a lot of giveaways.
Did he say adult lattes?
Adult latte, which I assume means a brewski, an adult beverage.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's nice.
Sometimes some people call them daddy sodas. Other people call them adult lattes.
I've never heard of either, but thank you for adding to my lexicon. That's nice. Dude, what do I think about it? It's fantastic, Alex. I love it. I love the idea of RandyLand. I think that it's one of the, we actually like 3 weeks ago, before this RandyLand came about, I listened to the radio and Neil Solondz was like, oh, they should do something like Randy's Rowdies or something like that. And we said that on the show. Well, Neil had that idea, and then the Rays listened. It's fantastic, man. It's a fantastic idea. I think that promoting a guy who's so beloved by the fandom is just such an easy dunk. Like, I mean, it can be sometimes marketing ideas are just sitting right in your face, and this was right there. So I'm glad that they took that time. Good for you for promoting it, for promoting a guy who is. Look, if you think about the Rays right now, we all know what Wander Franco could do and could possibly do. We know what Shane McClanahan can do and could possibly do. If you're not a Rays fan and you're told, hey, who's the first Rays player that you think of? I think a lot of people would say Randy Arozarena, and they would not say Shane McClanahan, and they would not say Wander Franco, even though those two guys could possibly have the better careers than Randy.
Oh, that's very fair. And I think, but Randy if he keeps this up, he could wind up having the highest WAR on the team if he keeps it up and stays healthy. Now I'm looking at the RandyLand link on the website, the seating section information. And what I do like is they're alternating shirt options, and they've got a couple of mystery options. So it's not the same shirt each time. They're rotating shirt A, B, C, and D. But I see what Alex says, that t-shirts are available in adult size large only. Further background, t-shirts may be picked up in front of the Hall of Fame alcove in left field street at section 141. T-shirt pickup is available. I don't know what I'm reading that. That's nonsense. If Randy hits a home run during the game, all fans in section 141 will receive a free Budweiser, Bud Light, soda, or water.
Awesome. Yeah, give me a free brewski if he hits a home run.
No, yeah, I think that this idea, like, I don't know why they haven't been doing things like this on the regular. And I think there's more untapped potential with promotions like this. And honestly, like, I feel the Rays, like other sports organizations, they probably have one or multiple marketing folks making six figures that all they do is think about all day is, hey, how can we generate interest and get people to buy tickets and get more interest and focus on the team. And it was probably just like a random usher that just brought up the idea, and then they don't.
Or Neil Solondz. They listened to it.
It could have been Neil too as well.
That's a pretty good idea. And again, the large, I know, Alex, it sucks that they're all large. Hey, maybe you can put it in the dryer, like maybe wet and maybe you can shrink.
Or maybe suggest to the Rays, hey, next time, love this promotion, but give us a couple variations. Yeah, give us a couple medium options, a couple extra large options. I don't know.
Like, if you're 14, what is a large going to do for you? Nothing. It's going to be like a pajama, which again, fine. But no, the t-shirt schedule is pretty cool. Again, this will be every Friday, people. So the next one is Friday, May 5th against the Yankees.
I'll be at that game.
Yeah,
got a free ticket to that game.
Let's go. Friday, May 19th I will be there for the Brewers game. So that should be fun. So every Friday, people, 6:40 p.m. start time, you get a new different t-shirt all the time. So, or I'm guessing they're gonna just have to be like rotating ABCD shirts, and then that's what happens. But
so
it'll be fun.
Yeah, little PSA out there. When I go to the game Friday, I'll have my sunglasses on. There'll be paparazzi surrounding me. I'll have 2 security guards, big buff dudes. So you'll know it's me when I'm walking around the ballpark.
Good.
Just saying. So please don't acknowledge me. Please don't look me in the face. Don't talk to me. I need my privacy.
On the contrary, please pester this man. Please pester him and ask him to give you the W. And if he doesn't give you the W, tell him he needs to pay for your parking next time. Okay.
And by the way, I'm just totally joking. Like nobody even notices or recognizes me, so it's not even.
I don't know, man. You're pretty tall.
I am not as tall as Pete Fairbanks, but I'm getting there. Might put some lifts in my shoes like Tom Cruise and get it going. So
there you go.
All right. Thank you all for the mailbag questions. Keep them coming, lockedonrays@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us directly on Instagram or Twitter. We prefer the voice memos. We love those as well. All right. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On Rays podcast. I'm so used to the old copy. Just listen to us every day. That's all you need to know. Be an everydayer and listen to us. Stay safe and have a great day too. And we'll talk to you on Wednesday.